Hi, everyone. Really excited to be here and getting the opportunity to speak with Dedra. And I'm not going to be shy. I'm going to talk about all the awesome things that you are accomplishing because they are worth sharing. So Dedra is the VP of Marketing and Communications for Toyota. She has become just an incredible sports marketing name, and she is really passionate about what Toyota, their global mission of mobility for all, which we love. And that really leads nicely into all the sports environment. So you're really leading a lot of monumental programs that are developing opportunities for para-Olympic or para-athletes, as well as girls and boys flag football, which I love. My girl played flag football. I played flag football in college for fun. So I love that we are seeing sports like that come forward and that you're really owning that too. And I think you're really leading the way and showing how brands can show up for fans and athletes. And then what we're here to talk about today is the amazing sort of authentic creative programs that you're partnering with NFL players like Brock Purdy and Jordan Love. You did last year get named one of Adweek's Sports Marketer MVPs, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And I hear, rumor has it, you are a New York Giants fan.
This is correct.
Any other fans in the room? Okay, love it. Well, we're really excited.
One.
I see one. I love it. We're excited to learn more. Obviously, we're here to talk about Toyotathon. But what we want to do before we jump into that is learn a little bit about Dedra, the person. And we are going to do a quick AMA.
Of course you are.
Speed round. Yes. I mean, of course, we read it. That's what we love. We love our AMAs. So let's just start with the obvious. Seahawks or Patriots?
It's not that obvious. This is a hard one. I'm a New York Giants fan. We sponsor both the Seahawks and the Patriots. And we sponsor a Team Toyota player who plays for the Patriots, cornerback Christian Gonzalez. So as a Giants fan, this is a quagmire.
Yeah.
But I have to lean towards Christian.
The next obvious, besides the commercials and the game, the most obvious thing that we need to talk about is what's your favorite game day food?
Oh, that's easy. Pizza.
Pizza. Oh, yeah. Solid choice. This is where we're going to dive into a very long debated topic on Reddit, which is a hot dog a sandwich?
Absolutely not. What kind of monster thinks a hot dog is a sandwich?
It is a tough, heated topic on our platform, let me tell you. And then a little more seriously, I'd love to hear from you the best piece of advice you've received.
Oh. I think that would be probably 25 years ago, the beginning of my career. I was told to not shrink to fit anyone else's agenda or dilute my personality or who I am to appease anyone else and to just live an authentically me life.
I love
that was great advice.
That is excellent advice. I love it. Well, again, we're here mostly to really dive in and learn about this really fun execution you've done. But as a brand, you guys have been you're just naturally authentic and you naturally engage in culture. I know we see it. You guys have been an early adopter. You are not afraid to jump into the communities and ask them questions and actually repurpose what they tell you about your brand back to, out in your ads and things like that. So it seems very natural for you to just sort of lean in. But what does like a culture first approach mean to you?
So who in here feels like they're always chasing the next cultural trend and you're just like one meme behind? Anyone? Yeah, I think we all do.
Oh.
I think I would say, first of all, a culture first strategy, adopting that is not for the faint of heart.
No.
You have to have a thick skin. You have to have some level of risk tolerance and be okay with failing. But the upside is so huge, right, if you get it right. And so, I think we are inundated with 10,000 brand messages every single day. And I think the hardest part of deciding when you want to participate in the moment is, does it make sense? Is it adding value? Is it authentically connected to your brand? And so I think the hard part is editing yourself and being disciplined to say, do we have a role? Do we have a purpose in this moment? And if we do, then let's go all in. I think it's also about what can you plan ahead for, right? There's culture first moments and then there's being culturally relevant, and those are two very different things.
Absolutely.
So when it comes to culture first, it's just having a pulse on what the chatter is, right? Reddit's a great source for us to be able to get a pulse on insights and chatter that's happening about the brand. So it's being prepared for those moments when they arise to be able to capitalize on them and have the discipline to understand the triggers that make sense that you should jump into that moment. You have to recognize those and also recognize when you don't have a role and you're not adding value.
Yeah. I mean, I think that brings up like it's hard to be that nimble though. So I mean, look, we all know there's legal and there's all these elements that can get in your way. How do you have the ability to be nimble when feels right?
You know, it's a process. We're still working through it. It's I think it's just all about education and communication and getting all of the key stakeholders, you know, comfortable with what the process is going to be. When we hit that switch, we know exactly who's managing what, who's going to legal, who's going to compliance. I mean, it's a well-oiled machine at this point, but there's always bumps in the road, right? It never exactly lands as you expect.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we want to dig into the campaign, the Toyotathon campaign, but what I want to ask before that is just also understanding, like, you're developing really big relationships and deep relationships with some, you know, Jordan Love and others. Like, how do you make the decision of who fits your brand authentically?
That's a great question.
You have quite a few.
We do, yeah. So we work with 7 NFL Team Toyota players. We have over 80 actual athletes, anglers, drivers, players on our Team Toyota roster. So we spend a lot of time, we're very deliberate about the vetting and selection process, right? Because we are a brand that's predicated on trust. And so we have to be very thoughtful about who we're aligning ourselves with. And I think the number one thing, right, is just its character, its integrity, it's living and breathing the values of Toyota. And if we don't see that in someone, that's just not even someone we're going to consider. But working really closely, I have some of my MKTG folks in the room here today. You know, we've developed a robust process to understand, you know, I think what's important to the athletes or the players, and to really vet them in a way that once we sign that deal, we're, you know, you're never 100% sure, but we're very confident and comfortable with the roster that we've developed.
Yeah, that's great. Well, you can see they're enjoying it too, and that's why we should now kind of hand it to you.
Yeah, let's
because
do it.
We want to see this amazing. There's so many entities to this. It's really fun. So let's watch, or I'll let you take us through it.
Yeah. Okay. Can we advance to the next slide, please? Oftentimes we get asked why. Like, why does cultural relevance matter? Why are we spinning our wheels and focusing on this? And there's bodies of research, a recent one commissioned by Kantar, that shows us that as a brand who is perceived as being highly cultural, in the moment, a brand that has cultural relevance, they're growing nearly 6 times faster than a brand who is not perceived. So, I mean, there's business reasons, there's brand reasons, and you just have to, again, be very thoughtful about how you're entering into the conversation and making sure it ladders up to your business objectives. So next slide, and we'll just dive into this.
Jordan Love is a Toyotathon merchant.
Before and after Toyotathon, Jordan Love turned into a different quarterback.
Toyotathon.
Jordan Love is playing lights out.
The Loveathon?
Toyotathon Jordan Love is bananas.
NFL fashion is becoming as important as the game itself.
That jacket's very cool.
Wait, that's actually in the card?
That is awesome.
Thank you very much, Toyota.
This thing right here is letting everybody know what the season's all about. You know, the magic things.
There's a dance and a song.
Toyotathon is on.
Cisco re-recorded Thong Song, but for the Toyotathon.
Is this for real?
Oh my gosh, it's so good. So good.
So just a little history on this. So last season, mid-season last season, there was one fan who recognized that somehow Jordan's performance in the window of the Toyotathon sales event season, his performance was significantly better than outside of that window. How that came to be, I have no idea, but I love that man, whoever he is out there. And so he started with one tweet about it, and this just absolutely blew up into a huge social media moment. Influencers and commentators and everyone in between just really started talking about this, and that's how organically we ended up actually doing the deal with Jordan Love. We were not associated with Jordan. We had no deal with Jordan, and so we reached out to him, went right to the source and said, if we're going to do this, we'd love for you to be part of it. And he was so phenomenal, jumped right in, such a good sport. And 2 days later, he was sporting that Toyotathon sweater and posting his partnership on social. So this year, so we've kind of fast forwarded to this year, we did a lot of things very specific to Jordan last season. This year, we decided, let's really lean into this and transition what's been a traditional, long-standing sales event into a true cultural moment, putting NFL at the center of that. And so we leaned into sort of 3 pillars. You can see here, collectibles, fashion, and music, which you saw really all showcased in that video. But it allowed us to connect with fans across, I think, multiple passion points, as well as bring the athletes into the center of the conversation. And so in addition to Jordan, the Thon song, it featured all of our athletes. So we actually produced a full music video with Cisco reimagining the lyrics together, showcasing all of our players. We brought Jan, who's our spokesperson, into it. We actually did that in 19 days. So it was crazy. Absolute madness, and it was over the holidays. Someone on my team's laughing because we were all on these emails and text messages. But we're so proud of how it all came together. And, it was a risk for us.
Absolutely.
A big risk. It's not something that you typically see an automotive company diving into, particularly a Thon song, right? Going to my CMO saying, so we have this idea. Yeah. You know that thong, 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 thong song? He just laughed, but he said, I do, and I love Drew Hill. So
that's awesome.
It was all history from there. But if you can go to the next slide.
This thing right here is letting everybody know what the season's all about. The magic things in life.
The next one, please. So this is the commercial that we actually produced. It was a commercial that we ran last season. We edited it and really restructured it so that it would work for an introduction to a Thon song. This is a spot that ran on the NFL game on Christmas Day.
Got we know that Toyotathon season is here. The magic is real, and Jordan Love is proof. And now Brock has blessed us with the Toyotathon dance. There's a dance and a song.
Oh my God, it's so
Okay,
good.
next slide, please. So this is the full video. We'll just play the first 30 or 45 seconds of this, but you can get a sense of the scale of this idea and how this came to life with the integration of many of our athletes. And if you listen to the words, it's very specific to promoting Toyotathon season and the magic of Toyotathon.
This thing right here is letting everybody know what the season's all about. The magic things in life. Check it out. Oh, this is miraculous. The haters feeling cantankerous. I'm in the league suddenly, now they dish. Toyotathon magic on devilish. Financing on a Toyota truck. Today winning big like Jordan Luck. And a Toyotathon, you know the magic. Drop in the Toyota Tacomas. Deals on trucks. Cash rebates back. Stop the ball back. Hut. Be scoring like Michael Pittman. Look who's up, Jordan Love. He's kicking your all game long. Toyotathon is on. Baby, that thon. I like it when the beat goes. Put it in zone. Pinning it on slow. That thon.
this is just a small sampling. The response that we received on social media was overwhelming and highly positive. So it was great to lean into this moment, and we went all in, and our fans and consumers, they just reacted in such a positive way. It was such a surprise and delight moment coming from our brand, who's been more, I think conservative traditionally. And so I think connecting Cisco's iconic song from 25 years ago with the NFL, with our players, it just became a moment that got amplified from so many different, dimensions. And I think our fans really appreciated it.
Well, the attention to detail, you didn't miss anything, and you appealed to both men and women, because I did also notice how the sweaters look very much like crocheting, which is very hot again.
Very hot.
You did not miss a beat on any of these details, which is incredible. But I mean, we saw so much chatter on Reddit too. And I mean, people can't stop talking about how well he's performing during it and just the love for it. But I think that leans into also, we talked earlier a bit about how you really want to make sure that when you make these partnerships with these NFL players or athletes or whoever it might be, that you really want to let them tell their story too. And it's a deep, authentic relationship. So maybe even just talking a little bit more about that connection and being able to tell their stories, what part of that is important to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's all important. I think as we start to have conversations with the players or the athletes that we're considering sponsoring, we get pretty deep with them in understanding what's important to them.
Yep.
What are their values? What are their community efforts? What are their philanthropic interests?
Yep.
Who are they outside of the field, right? We of course love when they do well on the field, but off the field is where you can truly make a connection as a brand, I think, to a player. And so I think Brock Purdy's a great example. He's talk about character and integrity. He just exudes it. So, I mean, this is the second season. Last season, we actually worked with him, and he gifted 10 Toyota vehicles to his offensive line.
Awesome.
This year, after conversations with him and his team, we wanted to do something a little bit more meaningful. And so, I think for him, veterans are something that is really near and dear to his heart. And so we ended up allowing him to surprise 10 families, I think 9. They're telling me 9. 9 families this season. Military veterans, as well as families who have children fighting pediatric cancer with vehicles. And so it was a full day that he kind of...
That's amazing.
Yes, thank you.
Clap for sure on that one.
It was awesome. So it was a full day. He did it all on his own. He gave gifts, he gave them tickets to games, and then walked outside and, unveiled 10 or 9 vehicles. So it was a really special moment. And that's something he said, in all of the things that he's done, it was the most meaningful for him.
Yeah, and not a dry eye in the house.
Yeah.
So to make a little bit of a pivot to not as a beautiful moment as that, amazing. You guys, obviously you got so many impressions, so much activity, but how are you able to drive that to measurement of actual movement of vehicles? I mean, it is ultimately what you are striving for too, right?
Yeah, I mean, so ultimately, I think the way that we look at sponsorship, in particular the NFL, is there's a couple of things that we leverage the partnership for. One is to drive brand metrics.
Yep.
And if you think about Toyota, probably everyone in this room thinks safety, reliability, dependability. That's great. Those are important things and core to who we are. That's in our DNA. But those are really functional attributes, right? And so we leverage partnerships to connect more emotionally and really make people kind of stop and think a little bit differently about who we are as a brand. And, we're a very human-centric brand. We're very value-driven. And I think in the NFL particularly, we've leaned into NFL flag, and that's been the cornerstone of our overarching partnership, because our commitment to inclusivity, to accessibility, to creating a world where there's ever better mobility. I mean, sport fits, I think squarely inside of that.
Yes.
And so for us to have this opportunity yesterday, we held a Toyota Glow Up Classic, and we invited 20 of the top Bay Area female and flag players, and we hosted a glow in the dark Toyota Glow Up Classic game. We had our Team Toyota players coaching. We had Eli Manning and Kylie Kelsey as the referees, and it was just amazing to have this moment. And they played on the same field as Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
There was 40 or 50 media covering the event, and so just seeing this moment that they had, which fortunately in women's sports is becoming more of the norm than the exception, but just such an honor for us to play a role in uplifting and shining a spotlight on these women who deserve it.
Absolutely. Well, so that leads to, I mean, it's said to be this year is going to be the biggest year in sports history. I mean, I know like obviously there's motorsports, there's Olympics, there's the World Cup. We've seen on our platform alone in the last year double the conversations around World Cup. What are you looking forward to? What's your next? I mean, we're in this one. So what's your next sport that you're excited
Ask me on
about?
Monday. No, just kidding. You know, I think because of the relationships we have with so many properties and such a broad roster of athletes and players, we're very fortunate that we're organically connected to a number of different big cultural sporting moments. And so I think for us right now, right, we're this convergence of Super Bowl, Olympics, Paralympics, and then Daytona 500 all happening in just a matter of a few weeks. And we have a connection to all three of those sports, athletes. And so I can't really talk too much about it. However, we will be revealing another Super Bowl spot before the game.
Right.
And it leverages, I think, the connection across those three kind of key cultural moments. So we're really excited about that because it allows us to, one, unite a message, you know, across Toyota, but also allow, you know, for individual editorial moments, which allows us to maximize the value.
I love it. It's so fun. And it does feel very authentic and you can feel it. Your fans like love you with the connection to all of these athletes. It's very personal.
Insightful to see how you can continue to amplify your partnerships, even with the NFL throughout the year and not just, and in sports, they're so seasonal. But you mentioned brand health metrics that you were looking to drive. So not as much, I guess, purchasing of trucks, but more the trust, the value. Can you talk specifically about what those metrics were?
Yeah, so we have 3 key brand metrics that we track everything against. It's exciting, innovative, and inspiring. And I think if you think about the NFL, they're all of those things, right? It fits really kind of squarely inside of those objectives. As our role, my team's role on the national level is really top of funnel. And so our job is to change the perception of the brand, build, you know, I think awareness, consideration, and get people to have Toyota really as top of mind when they're considering a vehicle purchase. And so we then sort of talk about, then we have a handoff to our tier 2, our dealers, our regions, and it's really up to them at that point, right, to close the deal. And so we're very intentional about our work having to move hearts and minds and really focus on having a emotional connection with Toyota versus, you know, selling features, right? So we're very much live in this top of funnel space.
Thank you.
Oh, we got more questions over here.
I'm a huge Packers fan, so love the Jordan Love work. So huge thank you, Dedra, on that. My question was around Paralympics and I'm curious, like how you approach that versus like an NFL activation and stuff, and you know the different, you know, athletes in a different type of venue and different type of anything. Like how do you engage that way?
Yeah, it's a great question. You know, I think our commitment to shining a light on future superstars and I think this growing community of athletes really started with our focus in the Paralympic world. And as we think about a commitment to creating a world where we're helping remove barriers, we're creating you know, a freedom of movement for everyone, Paralympics just made so much sense for us. And so I think for the Paralympics, it was very much about creating awareness, providing resources, getting more accessibility so that these athletes had a moment to really shine. We also financially, we created what was called the Toyota US Paralympic Fund. We donated over $6 million to every individual Paralympic athlete over the last 3 games. And so it wasn't just, let's focus on them, let's tell stories, but let's give them actual real financial support so that they have the ability to train and develop with, you know, better resources and technology. Yeah, absolutely. So we have a agency, Conil, who specifically focuses on the Hispanic community. And so we lean heavily on them to understand the audience and ensure that we're leveraging the insights of that particular community. And so for the NFL particularly, that was a very intentional decision to partner with Christian Gonzalez, who is of Colombian descent, so that we really had a well-rounded, diverse team. So one thing that our agency did with Christian this season is this campaign called Lost Names, and it was this idea of, in the Hispanic heritage, you oftentimes, I think, drop your predecessors, names, last names, and this was a way of bringing the legacy, the history of the Hispanic audience into the NFL landscape. And so what we did is we created these jerseys with really 5 last names, just a nod to the heritage, the history, the family of these Hispanic players. And it became also a pretty viral social moment where it caught a lot of attention. We had a number of influencers jump on the conversation with us, and it was just a great way for us to pay homage to him, the history of the NFL, and just have a moment to really kind of celebrate the legacy that the Latino audience has had in the NFL, which isn't always specifically talked about. So having Christian has been really a breath of fresh air for us to be able to, I think, talk about his commitment also to honoring his legacy.
That's fantastic. Well, I think we all appreciate learning from you, because it's not easy. I can only imagine the behind the scenes of all the agencies and all the people that have to come together.
It's absolute madness.
But it looks flawless up there. So congratulations.
That's what's important.
And we really appreciate you sharing this awesome story with us.
Thank
and being
you.
Here today.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.